All right, y'all, so check it out. Earlier today, I went to Guitar Center and I tried to go undercover. And so I want to show you guys what happened in that process. But here's what I was trying to do. I'm doing a comparison between the Crimson II and the SD1250. But before I got into it, I wanted to know what would happen if I walked into a store. What happens when you walk into a Guitar Center and ask about the drums? Let's check it out. So I'm here at Guitar Center, at where I always go, and I'm hoping they don't recognize me because there's a couple people that don't know me. So hopefully I get somebody that doesn't know me and maybe I can get them to, just be honest about the drums and see what they say. So let's go. So we're inside now. So I'm gonna see what I can get. I gotta stay away from the people. I gotta stay away from the people that know me.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, man. Everybody's here?
No, everybody.
Good. Let me ask you a question.
What's up?
What's your opinion of, in a comparison to like the Simmons drum to like the Alesis? Because they seem to be very, very even. What do you think? If you were recommending,
I haven't had too much playtime behind the Alesis. The only ones I've ever messed with is the Mexican, the 3789.
Oh, the base.
My own personal one is the SD600 that I have.
okay, so you have this. What do you think is the
600, honestly, it's okay. It runs everything else just fine, but I think because I play metal pieces, so we're all about speed, hitting as much as we can, and sometimes it just. I'm not sure because they're sending too many signals to the brain.
Right.
But so I do a thing, heel toe, but we put the trigger sensitivity all the way the threshold, so it counts every hit.
Right.
So whenever I do that, I'm doing 30-second notes, but then it starts missing
Everything
symbols. Not mostly everything else, but you'll notice it like one missing. And I'm not sure if it's because, over the time, because I've had it for like a year and a half. So like over the time of like hitting it, I'm not sure if they're just dying slowly, but usually around whenever I'm just doing 30-second notes, sometimes it just doesn't even hit. It misses like 1 or 2 in a row. So that's cool.
And you haven't tried out any of the newer ones like the 1250 or anything like that?
I haven't done anything. The only ones I tried out, maybe these two. I barely ever play any of those, but 600 at my house.
What you asking about the difference?
Now I'm just trying to do a comparison between the SD, the Simmons and the Alesis.
This Simmons and this Alesis?
Well, no, there's no comparison there. More like the 1200 or 1250, which is the two. Well, the 1250 is the new one, versus like that, because the 1250 and that Alesis regular price are exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean, difference wise, personally, from having like played on them in the store, sounds are gonna be fairly equal as far as the quality you get out of them, as far as meaning like your snare sounding realistic, your kicks, like everything sounding realistic, it's gonna be around about the same.
Right.
Just because of the algorithm in the actual brain. The main difference is going to be the feel. That's going to be the difference, like the only noticeable difference for real. Other than they're two different brands, like it's just going to be the feel. One feeling like.
So which one would you buy if you were buying them?
If I was buying, I would probably buy the Alesis just because I know it feels more like a real kit.
Have you played on the 1200? Have you played on the 1200 or the 1250?
Haven't played on the 1250, but they're both great kits. I'm not gonna say that the Simmons, but me personally, really, I wouldn't buy like you talking about electric kits, if you gave me the option of all electric kits, I wouldn't really buy either of those. They're just not my preference as far as like what feels real and what doesn't.
What would you buy?
Me personally, I like Roland. I like the Roland brands just because they feel, and the only reason being because also you can use real hardware with them. So like you can use real drum hardware that you use with a real kit. So when I sit down on this and then I sit down on a real kit, it gives me the same exact feeling from the hardware from feet up on one. But that's just me personally, preference wise. Still great kits though. Both great kits. Is just one of those things that the feel is going to differentiate what you're going to prefer.
Okay. Okay, so as you can see, everybody leaned towards the Alesis drum set. And so I had to ask myself a question. Why is it that everybody leans that way? For whatever reason, Alesis has made an amazing name for itself in the marketplace. Of course, there's Roland. Roland, hands down, is probably the most popular one. But if you can't afford the Roland, you're probably going to be looking at that Alesis drum set. Now, the thing that got me and struck me as odd about the conversation that I had in the store was that Simmons Drums is owned by Guitar Center, and I was standing inside of Guitar Center. So I really wanted to understand, why is it that they never really seem to appreciate or even consider the store brand? My question was, well, does the store even talk about it? Is it just the brand snob thing that happens? Is it what is it that happens? And I don't really have an idea, and I ended up speaking to one of the managers about it, but I don't really have an idea. But I'm gonna get to the point. So what I like to do with you today is go through all of the reasons why I think they were wrong, 100% wrong. So let's start at the top. You have two drum sets, the Alesis Crimson II. You have the Simmons SD1250. All right, both of these drum sets come in at the exact same price of $1,099. And from there, everything kind of stays the same, and then it gets really different. Let's talk about the sounds real quick. The number of sounds that you get in both of these drum sets. With the Alesis Crimson II, you get 671 sounds. Okay, now that's 54 presets of drums and 24 user kits. Okay, so you got a total of 74 drums that you're going to get that way, with a total of 671 sounds. On the Simmons SD1250, you're going to get 750 different sounds, and that's 50 presets and 25 user kits. So they're basically the same there. They're almost identical there. You're gonna get sticks with both. You're gonna get a stand, your snare stand with both. You're gonna get a drum key with both. The cage is where things start to get a little bit different. With the Crimson II, you get an oval shaped cage, which means that once you put that locking mechanism on there, it's pretty much locked. Okay, with the Simmons, you get a hexagon type, and you can actually take it off and angle those drums differently. So what I discovered with the SD1250 was that you actually have more flexibility in the cage when it comes to setting up your drums. You get a lot more flexibility, and that is a really good thing. You want to be able to adjust those drums very, very tight to where you want them to be. Now, don't get me wrong. That is not to say that you can't do so with the Alesis drum set, but that is to say that you get a bit more flexibility in what you can do inside or on the SD1250. When you buy the Alesis, you get 3 toms, both 2 8-inch toms and 1 10-inch tom, and then your 12-inch snare. Conversely, on the SD1250, you get 4 toms. So you get 2 8s and 2 10s plus a 12-inch snare. So there, right off, the SD1250 immediately jumps ahead. Now the SD1250 gives you 1 extra tom. Remember, we're at the exact same price point. So immediately you get 1 extra tom. The cymbals match up all the way around, so that's cool. But here's where, again, we get a difference in the cymbals. On the SD1250, all of your cymbals are dual zone except for your ride, which is a triple zone or tri-zone cymbal, which means you get your bell and everything. Now, on the Alesis, you do get a triple zone ride, but you do not get dual zone on your cymbals or your hi-hat. And that's a big difference. So again, at that price point, you have a better situation coming with the SD1250 because you're getting dual zone on everything. And they all do choke, but you get dual zone. And if you're on your hi-hat, that little bit of that one little nuance of having that dual zone will give you an extra place of being able to get a different sound. Okay, so that you can really make this thing sound as close to an acoustic set all the way around, which is what the goal is anyway. Let's talk about one of the most glaring things you're going to notice as soon as you pop this thing out of the box. And that is the module. Hey, Alesis, 1980 called and they want their module back. This is a monochrome module that I just don't understand in the year 2021. We're in the 21st century while we're still in so far back with our technology, why we haven't upgraded. This is a monochrome look, whereas the Simmons SD1250 has a color screen. Now, that may not seem like a lot just with me saying it, but trust me, when you start to utilize it and see it, this thing, the user interface, the UI on the 1250, the SD1250 is much more user-friendly, much more easy to just get into. You know what it's doing. It's more like your telephone. The buttons match what's on the screen. Everything seems to work. The only thing it doesn't have is a touchscreen, or does it? Well, it doesn't, except another benefit of the SD1250 over the Alesis Crimson II is the app. If you have an iPhone and you download the app, you just stepped into the future, okay? And I don't know why all of the drum sets haven't done this and made a very, very good user experience on your cell phone or on your iPad. I downloaded it on my iPad and it gives you so much more flexibility. You can change everything. You can EQ. You can change the sounds on the cymbals. You can change the sounds of the drums. You can actually use it to make your own sounds. Listen, trust me, the app is where it's at. Alesis, where's your app? There's no app. It's just drums and that 1985 monochrome Radio Shack module. I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't have went that far, but it's bad. It's really bad, really bad. Okay, so you got an app, you got the triple zone cymbals, you got one extra time. You don't have to upgrade. So how much does it cost to upgrade? If you're gonna upgrade the Crimson, you're already maxed out on the SD, but you're gonna go up to from $1,100. Now you're an additional $100. You're at $1,200. Whereas with the Simmons SD1250, you're done. Everything's already there. You don't have to buy anything else. And all of the features that you see on the Alesis Crimson are already on the SD1200. So there you go. If I'm in the store and I'm an employee and I got somebody that comes in and say they're looking for a good drum set for their child, they're looking for a good drum set for themselves, I use it in the studio to record music. If I got that person in and they say, you know what, I got a good $1,200 I want to spend, and I got two drum sets sitting side by side, the Crimson by Alesis, Crimson II by Alesis, or the SD1250 by Simmons. If I stood back and said, go with the Alesis just because of the brand name, then I've just done you a disservice. Listen, you need to go and pick up the SD1250 by Simmons and take it home. If I were you, I would have it shipped, because trust me, carrying it up a flight of stairs is not fun. Or trying to fit it in the back of your car is not fun. It's a big set just like the other one, but trust me, you want to have this thing shipped to you. Just have it shipped. Let UPS fight that thing up the stairs. But yeah, you need to get your hands on this drum set. Very, very good drum set, $1,100, and you get everything you need. You don't have to worry about doing any upgrades or do anything. And in another video, I'm gonna go deeper into some other things on that. So listen, I hope you guys are enjoying these videos. I hope you take heed and go out and buy these drum sets. Please, if you do, go leave a review over at Simmons or at Guitar Center and let them know you saw our videos and that this is why you bought it. Hey, leave a comment down below. Let me know that you're gonna do it. I got a lot of comments on all of these videos about the Simmons drums, and I really appreciate you guys. It's been fun. For the money, it's definitely the way to go. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. We will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.